Hi, I'm Judith Patterson, a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator in Texas. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this adorable card using the Pampered Pets stamps and Pets dies. There's going to be one small change. The card I'm making today, instead of using red ink for the sentiment here, I'm going to use Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and that's just so you don't have to pull out a different ink. You can just use the one ink and some Stampin' blends for this card. Or you can grab your real red and use real red to do it like I did here. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera around. Okay, so everything is flipped around now, and I'm going to show you what you need. You're going to need the Mini Messages stamp set, and this is one large stamp. You can either use the clear block F, the largest block, to stamp this, or I like to use the Stamparatus. If you have that, it's just easier to get a nice solid good image with that whenever you're using larger stamps. You're also going to need the Messages die. Now, I already earlier in the day stamped this and cut it out. So, but when you're lining this up, I wanted to show you. It's a good idea to have some washi tape or some craft tape that's removable to hold your die down. And of course, this isn't to scale on the front here. So, but the hearts and the stars, it's a good idea to line those up and then tape down your die and then run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Just to make sure it doesn't move around, and that helps you to get it lined up pretty good. So, of course, the other stamp set you're going to need is Pampered Pets, and you do need the Pets dies that go along with this. You'll need the Memento ink black, and you also need the dark real red and the light basic black and light smoky slate blending Stampin' blends. For cardstock, you need a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of real red scored at 4 1/4 inches. Basic white cardstock in 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and another small piece that is 3 inches by 2 1/4 inches. Bermuda Bay that measures 3/4 inch by 2.5 inches. And then this is the Pattern Play Designer Series paper. I love this Designer Series paper. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and there's so many different great patterns in this. But these are cut 4 by 2.5 inches and 4 by 1 3/4 inches. Of course, you'll also need a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals and multi-purpose liquid glue, or whatever your favorite adhesive is. So, like I said, I already stamped these earlier. So for this card, instead of using just a card to say hello, I'm going to use this thank you for being you. I think. Yeah, here it is. So I usually, when I cut these out, I organize them in these 2 little containers, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm just going to grab that. And I'm going to start by stamping my puppy using the Memento ink on this smaller piece of basic white cardstock. And the cardstock for the Mini Messages dies or stamps, I usually cut it 5 by 6 inches, just so there's plenty of room to stamp it, and to, when I'm stamping it, I like to hold my cardstock down with the magnets that are included with the Stamparatus. So if you don't know what a Stamparatus is, let me just show that to you. This is a Stamparatus. So you would put your cardstock down here, And there's magnets on the bottom. So you would hold your cardstock down with the magnets. And then place your stamp wherever you want it on the cardstock. And close the lid. Press down to pick up the stamp. Open the lid. Ink up your stamp. And then stamp. Make sure you're applying even pressure over the whole card. I hope that made sense. Okay, so I'm going to start by coloring his little nose with the light basic black, and then I'm going to color his collar with the real red, and that's all I needed these for. Just that little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to use the smoky slate, the light smoky slate, to do the rest. I'm just going to go over him very quickly. Okay, and then I'm going to go over him again with just some short, light strokes. A little bit more than dotting it. And this just adds a little bit of texture or dimension to his fur, especially as it dries. And I am not an artist. I don't have any artistic abilities at all. So there's probably better ways to do this. But I've just found that this is kind of a no-brainer way to add a little bit of texture. I'm not doing any special shading or anything like that. And as you can see, once it dries, it kind of just gives it a little something extra. Okay, so while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna go ahead and take this 4" by 5¼ piece of basic white. This is for the inside. This is a step that is totally optional. I just always like to do a little something extra on the inside. So I'm going to grab the little paw prints from the Pets dies. Let's see if I can move this so you can see what I'm doing. So in the bottom corner, I'm putting the paw prints. And I actually should be doing this on my plate for my die cut machine. And I'm going to turn it upside down. Okay, so I'm lining it up in the corner, not quite to the edge. I'm going to use the washi tape to hold it down so it doesn't get wonky on me. And then I'm just going to run it through. There, it popped off, so I'm going to run it back. That way I don't have to put my whole piece of cardstock through the die cut machine. Okay, so now this can go inside and you can see the red pop through those paw prints. So cute. But like I said, that's an extra step, so if you don't have the Pets dies, no problem. You can just skip that part. Then I'm going to go ahead and start gluing the Pattern Play Designer Series paper to the front of the card. So the larger piece goes on top. And I glue the puppy to the Bermuda Bay. So basically I call all dogs puppies. I don't know why, but I have a 12-year-old Chihuahua and my husband has a 13-year-old Chihuahua, and they're still the puppies anytime we talk about them. Okay, so I'm just going to set him a little crooked on here. And then I'm going to get my Stampin' Dimensionals and whatever sentiment you decide to use. So it can be the thank you or the just a card to say hello. Those are both ones I'm using. Hooray, it's your birthday is a great one for this. Yikes, I dropped it. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in the corner, and ta-da! That's all it took to make this adorable card. And you've got plenty of room on the inside for writing your message. And there you go. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy stamping.